Welcome to Britain Fights Back. Firstly, I need to apologise for this report being slightly longer than my normal bite-sized chunk offerings. But for you and I, our parents, children and grandchildren, we need to buckle up and understand what's going down. In my last report I explained how Tony Blair had accepted a pledge from the second richest man on earth, a bloke called Larry Ellison, for £275 million to convince the UK government to force digital ID on every citizen. You heard Starmer say,
digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
But it's now clear it goes beyond that. I'll ask you to please see this report out and wait till the end to see the fight that's really going on. Firstly, I want to show you Starmer's response this morning to an interview regarding digital ID. Bear with me.
One of our viewers got in touch and wanted us to ask this question. Russ Brown wanted us to ask you if you really believe that those profiting from human trafficking will think, oh dear, I have to check your digital ID now. I can't carry on paying you £1.50 an hour to work in my sweatshop.
I'm absolutely convinced that amongst the reasons that people travel through France, which is a safe country, to come to the United Kingdom, amongst the reasons is because it's easier to work in our illegal economy than it is in other countries. And we have to deal with that.
Bosses who are prepared to hire people illegally are not asking them for their national insurance card. So what's the evidence? What makes you think they're suddenly going to ask them for a digital ID?
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working. If you look at any of the raids, we've massively increased the number of raids on working premises. It is absolutely clear that people are working illegally in numbers.
But why do you think that them having a digital ID, having to have a digital ID, would stop that problem when right now people are meant to have a national insurance number and card, and if they're not asked for that, a boss is willing already to break the rules? What's the difference going to be?
Well, the difference is this is on point of starting, not a retrospective exercise as it now is. It is an automatic collection of the information by the government, so we know exactly who is working in our economy, and it will help us enforce the rules that are there. But there's no point people saying to me, why do we need it, when we all acknowledge there is a problem. People are working illegally in our economy. It is amongst the reasons that people want to come to the United Kingdom. We have to deal with that. I made a pledge that we would do whatever was necessary, use whatever tools were available to deal with illegal migration. I intend to do so.
This man is nothing more than a fidgety programmed machine. He can't answer questions because he hasn't been given the answers, because there are no answers acceptable to the voting populace. But just so's you know, there are between 300,000 to 600,000 illegals working in France. In Germany it's just as bad, and, you guessed it, both countries have ID cards, which renders his programmed reasons for introducing this compulsory ID program a lie. Let's not forget, we already need a national insurance number to work. Which floors his reasoning before he opened his gobshite mouth. Now listen to the players running the game, Ellison and Blair.
Well, what's the importance of having that basic digital infrastructure in place? You know, cloud services, data centers, digital identity. How important are these things to put in place so that the rest of the system works effectively?
Well, I think one of the most important things is not to put the digital infrastructure in place and make sure it is secure. And often it needs to be sovereign. So I think countries are very uncomfortable with keeping their data in other countries' data centers. So I think part of our essential infrastructure, just like airports obviously need to be in our country, or they're not terribly useful. Ports need to be in our country, and they're not terribly useful. Data centers, because of the privacy requirements around the data, need to be in our countries, or they're not terribly useful. They need to be in our countries, but they also need to be secure. And there are new technologies right now. This is the last year you will ever log on to an Oracle system with a password. Next, by the middle of this year, well, how do I mean, I'm quite certain you are Tony Blair. So how do I know? Well, I look at you, I hear your voice, I listen to the kind of questions you ask. I'm pretty sure you're not, you're not synthetically created in having this conversation. The security system, we have biometric logins. The computer recognizes you. It recognizes your voice. It might ask you to put your index finger on the return key. And we know, we're absolutely certain it's you. There's no reason to enter a password. In fact, passwords are too easily stolen. Data centers and data is being taken hostage all over the world. The ransomware business is a very, very good business. It's getting bigger and better every year. We tend not to talk about it because the American FBI has a simple advice to someone whose data has been ransomed. Just pay them because there's nothing.
This has now become beyond unacceptable. So when Elon Musk said,
whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
He was looking at the bigger picture. You can leave your comments in the box below and become part of our fast-growing community. But until next time, I'll just say stay calm, stay safe, and we'll chat again soon.